We welcome you across the Cincinnati Bengals preseason television network, including in Canada, part of the Global Markets program that the Bengals joined in May. We welcome fans watching on TSN, on the Bengals website, on the Bengals app. Chase Brown, star Canadian running back, will not go today, but you can be assured that all of Canada will have their eyes on him in 15 days' time.
That's pretty cool. I think that's really cool. You know, a lot of times you wish you were playing, but we know what's going on. But the fact that they get to see one of their guys is pretty cool.
Today's opening kickoff is brought to you by Paramount Plus. So many of the ones will not feature today. There's only one kicker, and so unless you throw Logan Wilson at it or bring back Chad Ochocinco, it's going to be Evan McPherson kicking off. Kicks this away, and is this returnable? It is. Bentley hammered at the 22. So Indianapolis won the toss, chose to receive. Bentley should see a bit of time at running back alongside Noel and Wright. The quarterback position is finally decided for the Colts. Daniel Jones named the starter on Tuesday. Neither he nor Anthony Richardson, the former number 4 overall pick, will play today. Riley Leonard, the 5th-round draft pick out of Notre Dame, with Giddens as a sidecar to his right. And it'll be Giddens up the middle and continuing to churn his way up to the 26-yard line, where he gets dropped by DJ Ivey. Let's take a look at today's Players to Watch, presented by Kettering Health. When you talk to Zach Taylor, he says the toughest position to try and look at in practice or in training camp is safety. So he has his eyes on P.J. Jules. Also, Braylon Lux has had a nice camp.
Well, they get their chance. I mean, it is tough, but now they get a chance to get on film and see what they can do against the blue jerseys here.
Leonard on second down will throw. And slings right, complete across the 30 up to the 36-yard line. And that is Will Mallory, who played in 10 games a season ago, the 5th-round pick out of Miami. Got hit by Joe Giles Harris and Raymond Johnson. We spoke with Zach Taylor. We spoke with Duke Tobin. Certainly we've heard from Al Golden this week. This is vanilla as vanilla gets on the defensive side of the football. They don't want to show anything that could tip off Cleveland or Jacksonville the first couple weeks of the year. But they want to see fewer explosives and ultimately see the team ready for the big moment as Leonard rolls, throws, and completes. That is Treadwell, who spent the entirety of 24 on the practice squad, the former 1st-round pick in Minnesota, with Jalen Davis in the coverage.
You know, you had a great point there, Mike. They're not going to show a whole lot, so it's just a matter of you're manned up. You got to do things and beat the guy across from you. And that's just, some things never change. You're not going to show things that you're going to do in the regular season, because these are practice games, but you want to improve. You want to progress as a football player and as a defense and offense.
That's a 22-yard pickup. Leonard hands off. And coming up from safety, P.J. Jules, after Raymond Johnson anchored him to the ground. And that's the thing for a safety, right, Anthony? In practice, guy gets touched by a linebacker, you blow the whistle, you're done. It never gets to the 3rd level. So Jules coming up and making that hit and ending the play is what they're looking for.
It is, and I think a lot of times, you know, people don't realize that the safety is the tackling guy. I mean,
yeah.
the cornerbacks are more the cover guys. Sure, the safety's cover, but they're the guys that come up and fill in a hurry and really lay the lead of the running backs.
Gould in orbit motion, and the handoff goes to the right on 2nd down and intermediate. And it's a lot of early work for DJ Giddens, the 5th-round draft pick out of Kansas State.
You see some good penetration there by the white jersey, the Bengals defense, and that's what you need. You need to get those arms extended and get that offensive lineman away from you. Therefore, you can see where the ball is, and at the last second, you just shed the guy.
You can never have enough good linemen, offense or defense. Giddens in motion. This is Leonard throwing the out route. A.D. Mitchell. Looks like he is short of the stick. So the coverage from DJ Ivey got him down in plenty of time, and Leonard looks like he's going to stay on the field.
Leonard, quick drop, quick throw. A little slip there, and it does appear that he is short. But Ivy was right there on the coverage.
So the offense remains. It's 4th down and less than a yard. His would-be field goal range. And in the regular season, you'd think they'd try and take the points. Treadwell motions in. There's the handoff. Jump cut through the hole. That's a 1st down. And down to the 26-yard line. Eric Gregory lassos him and brings him to the turf. Isaiah Thomas makes the initial contact. 1st down.
Great opportunity for these defensive players. Different situations. You got the 1st down, you got the 2nd down, but now let's see what we can do on 3rd and short or 2nd on short when we need to stop them. That's when, again, I talked about the technique. That's when you have to be really sound in your technique. Gap control, make sure you're not losing that.
8th play of the drive. It started on the opposite 22-yard line. Leonard, handoff, Giddens, who was primarily a backup as a freshman and then a co-starter the 2 years that followed at Kansas State, plunging forward down to the 22 of Cincinnati.
Young man in there that just ran off, and they've been talking about him. They say, look at him. He's been doing a decent. Now he gets a chance, and that's Howard Cross III. Of course, his father, a pretty good tight end in his time in the NFL. They say you look at him, and he continues to work hard, so he's getting his shot here early.
Leonard play fake, immediately throws that into the ground. Drew Ogletree was racing out. The coverage was solid anyways, but Raymond Johnson ensured that there'd be no chance to get that off.
And you called number 56 a couple times already, Raymond Johnson. It's one of those things. I mean, I think we might have talked about it earlier. People talk about, well, you're going to do the preseason game, you know Jamar, no Joe, but the guys out here are they're trying to earn a spot. They're trying to get their time in the NFL, so they're going to be busting their tails here.
Everyone's worried about the 53, but the next 16 are all eligible to jump into the active roster 3 times and, of course, get signed anytime. Throw here from Leonard, really tight coverage, got batted away. Marco Wilson dealt with injury at the beginning of training camp. And the former Florida Gator and a 4th-round pick in Arizona able to bat it down.
Let's look at that. He laid out. I mean, what a great job by Marco Wilson. He knew he had to lay out in order to get the football down, and he did that. Excellent coverage.
Came in off waivers mid-season from New England last year. And that sets up 4th down and too long to actually attempt to do anything with it. And so Spencer Schrader is on for the field goal try from 40. That is knuckling inside the post. It's good. So Indianapolis grabs 3 points on their opening drive. Cincinnati's defense stands up at the cusp of the red zone. Offense coming. Game presented by Paramount Plus.
Bengals football.
Uday Nation, we're back in the jungle for Open in Orange on Sunday, September 14th, 1 p.m. We'll take on the Jags. Visit Bengals.com/tickets to find seats and experience the jungle in all orange, just like we're wearing today, partner.
I'm going to wash it up after this game, and I'll be ready for that game, the 14th.
I know you will be. So Schrader hits a 40-yard field goal, concludes an 11-play, 56-yard, 5+ minute drive, and sends this away. Burton takes it on a knee and will run it forward across the 25, looking for the sideline, and stutters into the Cincinnati bench at the 34. So here's the Cincinnati offense. Desmond Ridder will lead the charge. What is there to be said that hasn't been said already about his career as a Bearcat? 42-6 as a starter. Threw for 10,000 yards. 87 touchdowns through the air, 28 more on the ground. 2-time American Athletic Conference Player of the Year. Took them to the college football playoff. And despite being a Colts tryout player in minicamp over the summer, arriving late, he's audibling on his first play, takes a hit, and tosses into the flat. Gallimore is the one who just unloaded on him. Kendall Milton was charging into the flat. It's soft target for him. Let's take a look at today's Players to Watch presented by Kettering Health. We're going to see Rivers, who so often plays tackle, sliding inside to guard. And then we saw Jermaine Burton on the kickoff return. He's going to get some time in offense too. Whatever Lou Anarumo is setting up for the Colts, Desmond Ridder and the Bengals are having to make changes on the fly. This is first down yardage. Isaiah Williams, who was a punt returner at the tail end of last season after being cut by Detroit, signed on November the 8th and gets a good amount of run here to start. There is Lou Anarumo, 6 years in Cincinnati, as his first full-time defensive coordinator job, multiple AFC championship games. Ultimately winds up in Indianapolis. This is a good run across the Bengal B, continuing to charge Kendall Milton. There is a flag back at the line of scrimmage. The initial hit from Jonathan Edwards stymied but didn't stop Milton.
Holding. Offense number 60. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Ronald Torbert is our referee. Last chance for the Stripes to get ready too.
Well, I know there was a holding penalty there, but Kendall Milton, what a cutback. Man, he saw that lane and didn't hesitate and got it through there. It's too bad there was a holding penalty. Number 60, Jackson Kirkland.
First down and 18. And it's a run off right guard. Pick up a couple. How about we head downstairs to the third member of our crew, Marissa Contepelli. Marissa.
Well, guys, there are a lot of familiar faces squaring off this afternoon. As you mentioned, Mike, Colts defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo returning to Cincinnati, being on Zach Taylor's staff from 2019 through last season. Colts linebacker Joe Bocci spent the past 4 seasons as a Bengal before signing with Indianapolis this last offseason. Bengals D-tackle Taven Bryan was with Indy the last 2 seasons. And then there's a handful of former college teammates on opposing sides. Of course, Desmond Ridder used to toss touchdowns to Colts receiver Alec Pierce for 4 years up the road up at University of Cincinnati. And then you have Jordan Moore and Shaka Hayward. They were teammates with at Duke with Colts quarterback Riley Leonard before his time at Notre Dame.
So everybody knows everybody today. Good catch by Burton right at the first down marker and able to muscle his way through for chance to move the sticks after being behind schedule. 1st and 18 turns into 1st and 10 in Indy territory. The motion across from Pryor. Ridder with time, throws short, flag is down. You see a good amount of Gary Brightwell and Kendall Milton here at the outset. That was Milton. This looks like a procedural problem.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Mike, that's one of the things. You have these guys that are fighting for position. You do not want to see these penalties. You want to make sure you're disciplined, you're tight. And right here we see Zach Taylor and Lou kind of chuckling and laughing and talk about good old times. Now that he's trying to stop Zach's offense. So, no, Lou did a great job while he was here at one time. Highly regarded as maybe a next head coach. Good to see him end up with the Colts.
He was a finalist for the Arizona job. Ultimately went to Gannon. And, you know, if you're a Cincinnati fan, I think certainly the frustration last year, understandable. But what he did over the 6 years, give him a lot of credit. Those fourth quarter defensive performances, especially against Kansas City, you're not going to the Super Bowl without a lot of the things that Lou implemented.
You know, it's tough that happens, but you're right. You look at the entire body of work, pretty good. And it's a shame that the 1 year is really what, really was the downfall.
Ridder throwing over the middle. Isaiah Williams able to shimmy out across the 40 and set up a manageable third down. Daniel Scott chased him into the Indianapolis sideline.
Ridder doing a good job picking his receiver and getting rid of it quickly. Had a little pressure early on, but the last several times he's really unloaded in a hurry, hit his receiver, moving the stick. So good job by Ridder.
It is a fast-moving first quarter. Only second drive of the game. Ridder starting to find his rhythm. Played in each of the first 2 weeks. We expect to see him into the third quarter for sure. We do think Peyton Thorne is going to play later in the game. Third down and 5 and another flag.
Ball start. Offense number 60. 5-yard penalty. It's third down.
these are the things that when we speak to Zach Taylor, he says, I want to see operational things look right, whether you're the guy who's going to start the first snap of the season or not. Jackson Kirkland getting time here at the outset. The news that Cordell Volson sustained a shoulder injury this week. It's a greater highlight on the guard position. Cam Grandy motions inside. Able to chip to give a little extra time, and that is lofted perfectly, but out of the hands of Jermaine Burton. And here comes the punt team for Cincinnati.
Boy, that was a heck of a throw by Ritter. Got it right over the linebacker's outstretched hands, and right. It kind of appeared it went right through the hands of Burton, but did a nice job on that throw. I was impressed.
Lofted that right over the defender. And Rico will have his 10th punt of the preseason. Drops the nose of the football. Coleman Owen calling for a fair catch and makes it at the 13. Indianapolis up by 3. The game presented by Paramount Plus.
At Fifth Third, we work hard to make banking a Fifth Third better.
The Ring of Honor induction ceremony this year to take place at halftime of the game against the New York Jets on Sunday, October 26th. Congratulations, Dave Lapham and Lamar Parrish, who are added this season. They join Anderson, Brown, Curtis, Dillon, Esiason, Johnson, Crumry, Riley, and of course, Anthony Munoz. And Dave Lapham will do game number 1,000 as player and broadcaster here in Cincinnati later this year. He is an iconic voice here and a good friend to everybody in the organization and out for that matter. Leonard on first down, throwing to the perimeter. And there's not a lot to be had here. That is 4 Bengals all coming together. Davis and Hayward lead the charge and make the hit on Laquan Treadwell. Nice to have more company, huh?
It really is, especially a guy that I played next to for my first 4 years. The guy was amazing. We all know him as a broadcaster, but an unbelievable player also. Played 10 years here, went to USFL. And as a young offensive lineman, to have someone at Dave's caliber, not only physically but mentally, man, it was a plus coming into the NFL. And a longtime friend, and everyone just loves the guy.
Yep, love you, Lap. Excited for you.
There you go.
Penetration off the edge and a big-time hit laid by P.J. Jules. There's a flag afterward. Excessive celebration is something that's being targeted by officials at the outset of the season, it should be noted. You talk about points of emphasis. You wonder if that's the issue here, because that hit was certainly solid on Giddens.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct taunted by the defense, number 37. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. Automatic first down. This is number 37's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty toward potential disqualification.
What? I mean, you were on top of that rule, but come on. It's an emotional game. I mean, a couple of hand slaps, and I don't know about that.
Are they going to call that in Cleveland? I doubt it, but I think every team is going to experience that one time in preseason. It always seems to go that way when you've got a point of emphasis.
Yeah, but you can't take the emotion out of a great game like this. It is an emotional game, and when you make a great play like that, you got to be able to exhibit a little bit of that.
4 penalties, 35 yards for Cincinnati in this game. Leonard slings over the middle with a fresh set of downs. They again all fly to the football. John Meta leading the way for Cincinnati. Not a ton in that either for Indianapolis, just a pickup of 4.
Good thing about the defense right now, they're giving everything inside. I mean, they're not letting the guys get deep, and they're covering them once they make the reception. They're making the tackle quickly for short gains. So I like that. They're reacting really quick to the ball.
Leonard played at Duke, resurrected that program, then took Notre Dame all the way to the national championship game. There's pressure, down he goes. There's a flag as well. Isaiah Thomas got to Leonard and dragged him down, and I think this is against Indianapolis too.
Holding. Offense number 71. Penalties decline. Play results in third down.
Shane Steichen looks on, the Indianapolis head coach. I decline that too.
Isaiah Thomas, nice inside move. He starts outside and then comes inside. Just totally beats his man. Great move, utilizing his quickness. Takes that inside hand and swipes the offensive lineman's hand down, which eliminates one of the hands, but does a lot of it with the quickness. Leonard,
third down and 13. On the rollout, throws, caught at the 40. It's going to be short of the line to gain. Quan Treadwell getting a lot of burn here at the outset. First time he's been on the same team back-to-back since he left Minnesota back in 2019. Stops in Atlanta, Jacksonville, New England, Arizona, Seattle, Baltimore, and now Indy.
Do you think Howard Cross maybe was kind of saying, I couldn't hit you last year at Notre Dame, but I can hit you today, so you better run?
Yeah, that's right. Rigoberto Sanchez will do the punting for the Colts, and Jermaine Burton is standing back at the Cincinnati 15. Should have a chance to return this. That is a missile.
Oh, my.
That's going to the water.
Holy smokes.
That's a 59-yard punt, but a 39-yard net. This game is presented by Paramount Plus.
How do I love Skyline Chili? Let me.
Got the black and orange look today. Black jerseys, orange pants with black stripes, and the iconic orange tiger striped helmet.
Coordinating orange and black, and they have striped the jungle.
Sunday, October 5th. Make sure you check the map. Know what you're supposed to be wearing as we stripe the jungle. It looked incredible when the Bengals did it last year when they hosted the Browns. This year against the Lions. Huge game, and I think everyone's going to have a chance to get involved.
It's fun. It's fun. Old guys like me open up the emails, look at your emails, and check what you have to wear, because it is fun. I mean, it's a great time to show your jungle spirit here.
Milton Malone setback. It's Ritter under center. Making a man miss in the hole. That's good stuff from Milton. Left McGrone in the dust. He is fighting for that starting linebacker job alongside Joe Bacci.
Nice job. Oh, nice job by Milton there. He's going right, and then he sees the backer, sidesteps him, makes a few yards. Great vision, being able to see that linebacker shoot through that gap and avoid him.
Would you say that some Colts fans on that missed tackle McGrone? Second down and 5. Ritter lost his footing, but able to regain. Throws an interception. Carried back by Daniel Scott. Inside the 10, Scott will scoot into the end zone for an Indianapolis touchdown. Daniel Scott, the 5th-round pick who missed all of 2023 due to an ACL, all of 2024 to an Achilles. What a moment. And it got tipped en route.
Ritter stumbled a little bit, regained it, and then, tried to make a play after stumbling, coming out and dropping on the pass.
Watch this, he start flying. Hey.
It seemed doomed from the start. He just sort of stumbled on that rollout, and then the ball gets tipped on the free rusher. And cool moment for Scott. He tore his ACL in OTAs his rookie year, then tore his Achilles in OTAs last summer. First time he's even gotten to the preseason, and he runs it back for a score. Indianapolis up by 10, less than 2 to play in the first. Indianapolis out to a 10-0 lead. Desmond Ritter with a good opening drive, moved the football, but a tip pass leads to a Daniel Scott touchdown. And Indianapolis out to a double-figure advantage late in the first quarter. Jermaine Burton will continue, it appears, to handle the return duties here at the outset this afternoon on what is a gorgeous, if for the big guys, a little bit steamy afternoon in the Queen City.
good to work up a good lather, even sitting up here in the booth, as I always do. I never lack a good lather when it's above 75.
You and I were on in the pregame with Joe and Jeremy going, oh, the lights are a little hot. Here's Burton, who gets hit at the 30-yard line. We've seen a lot of Kendall Milton here at the outset. For more on him, let's go downstairs to Marissa.
That's right, Mike. Well, you have to love when things come full circle, and that's exactly what Kendall Milton told me earlier this week. Kendall's uncle, Kevin Hardy, was a linebacker in the league for 9 seasons after being the 2nd overall pick in the '96 draft. Hardy finished out his career right here in Cincinnati, spending the 2003 and 2004 seasons in stripes. Now, Kendall was only 2 years old when his uncle was a Bengal, but he said him signing onto the practice squad last season was still an exciting moment for him and his family. Now, Kendall has told me he's been feeling great this camp. He told me the difference was really him being in the same system for the last year. He's feeling comfortable, which has led to an increase in confidence. And Milton told me he's kept his head down and grinded and keeps going back to a piece of advice his uncle Kevin had given him years ago. That's to control what you can control, keep showing up every day with high energy, and showing the type of effort you can play with.
Thank you, Marissa. He's certainly done that. Kevin Hardy was an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler in 1999 in Jacksonville. You mentioned he finished in Cincinnati. Milton was rumored to actually get a pretty big undrafted free agent money guarantee from Philadelphia, but got cut at the end of preseason last year. Ritter airing it out down the sideline, and it is incomplete. Seeking Kendrick Pryor, who's done some pretty good work in preseason the last few years. Juju Brents, who's been dealing with injury, a local Indianapolis kid, a season-ending injury, just week 2 last season in on the coverage.
You know, it's interesting. You think about his uncle's advice. Great advice, because so many times you get young guys that come in here to camp and they're worried about their play. They're worried about what are the coaches thinking. So just go out and take what you control, and that's what you do on the football field. Memorize and know your plays. Do it, do it to the best of your ability, and then let the coaches and the scouts and the team do what they need to do.
Ritter. That ball got batted down. There's a flag in the defensive backfield. Bengals jump on it just to be sure. Andrew Coker's like, I get to touch the football? All right, let's do it. Isaiah Land got in there. So incomplete or fumble, question number 1, and then what's the flag on the backside? There's actually 2 flags, both at the 41 on opposite numbers.
There were 2 fouls during the play, both by the defense. Holding, number 29, that penalty is declined. Illegal contact, number 38, that penalty will be accepted. 5 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Point of emphasis in preseason, illegal contact. First down, Cincinnati.
Lavins was the one that penalty was called. He said, why did they pick up the flag for my buddy and call it on me? But you see the pressure right there by Land. Ritter doing a good job standing in there, throwing the football.
Munz was actually claimed off waivers by Cincinnati back in 2023. Didn't feature. Racing toward midfield. That is a first down carry. Kendall Milton, physical, downhill. The former Orange Bowl MVP at the University of Georgia.
Nice job by the offensive line, and Kendall Milton, look at that. Nice little cutback vision. And he's taking his uncle's advice. Just do what you can control, and he is. He's running the football, running it hard, making some great cuts, utilizing the nice block by the offensive line.
That is great patience to eventually slalom out wide. It is Milton again, and a forward lean all the way down to the 46-yard line. It's McGrone who stood him up. You know, you look at the running back room, and it's kind of an embarrassment of riches right now because they love what they've seen out of Taj Brooks. You bring back Samaje Perine, who's a human safety blanket, and then the way Chase Brown played last year, well, I think Cincinnati's quite confident in that. As the first
this is the end of the first quarter
comes to a conclusion. Thank you, Ronald. End of quarter number 1. Duke Tobin set to join us in a moment. Indianapolis up 10-0. Week 3 of the preseason back in Cincinnati. Indianapolis a 10-0 lead as we head to the second quarter. How about you come into the booth? Director of Player Personnel for the Bengals, Duke Tobin, joins us as he always does. Anthony Munoz, Mike Watts. I'm just glad you got up to the booth this time. In Philly, we had you downstairs in like witness protection.
Yeah, that was tough on me. That was a new environment. I couldn't see what was going on. It was different. I'm not good. You guys are better at that than I am.
Yeah, you are the star in essence of this show to an extent that Week 3, these are the guys that you probably wanted to get eyes on in a moment like this. Yeah. Guys like Kendall Milton. Milton at the 10, continuing inside the 5. Kendall Milton putting on a show.
Yeah, no penalty there, so that was good. That was good.
That's good.
We've got to clean some of that up, and they've had their share over on their sideline as well. So sometimes you get that in the last preseason game.
Tell you, that time he hit the hole was wide, but the previous holes, man, he's had patience, and then he's the hole opened up and he's hit it and done a great job.
So all of a sudden, here's Cincinnati at the Indianapolis 5. 6 carries for 68 yards for Kendall Milton in what's a stacked running back room. They've brought in Gary Brightwell, and it's Brightwell rushing up the middle, and he's down around the 4-yard line. You have to love what you saw out of Chase Brown last year. Gives you all the confidence in the world. You bring Samaje back. That running back room is in a really good spot, isn't it?
Yeah. We feel good about it, you know. And Chase has looked outstanding in camp, and you know, so's our rookie, so's Samaje, and you can see we've got some depth behind them too, and so we feel great about it. Justin does a really good job with that room.
Motion into the width from Brightwell. It's Ritter throwing the fade back in the end zone. It's too high for Jermaine Burton.
As we talk running backs, let's stay with the running backs. Running the ball, been really good. How has their protection been? Pickups and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think they've obviously Samaje is excellent at that, and one of the reasons we brought him back. And Chase has really taken a step in that, and so it's really it's good to see. It's important for what we do. That's our identity. You're going to have to do that some. You know, we want to establish the run. We want to have success on first down running the ball, but we throw the ball a lot, and we've got the people to do that, and so we try to play to our strengths.
How about this power toward the goal line? It is marked just short. That was Milton getting back into the game and trying to finish what he started on this drive. Oh, he started that convoy.
I can't get that number. He's trying to drag him in the end zone. His buddy right there.
Yeah. That's McLaughlin.
That's McLaughlin. That's awesome.
Cincinnati's going to go for it. 4th and goal inside the 1. It's a handoff. It is a hit in the backfield. There is a flag down at the line of scrimmage. And the way Desmond Ritter's pointing, he thinks they'll have another go.
Offside. Defense number 91. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat 4th down.
You know how often you'd be able to stop the tush-push if you could just be offside?
Yeah, well, that's a strategy sometimes on defense. They're not giving up much yardage there when they're on the inch line, and so they try to get a little bit of a head start, and they got caught that time.
So Milton stays in, and we'll do it again. 4th down and goal inside the 1-yard line. Cincinnati trying to punch this in. Milton's been the star of the drive. Ritter will carry it in for a Bengals touchdown. Sometimes you just got to push it in. Cincinnati pulls within a field goal. That is a 4th down conversion presented by the law offices of Blake Maislin, and it's good for 6. And McPherson comes on. You haven't had to worry about punter or kicker. I guess that's holder and kicker in this instance. McPherson, couple 50-pluses, looks great.
Yeah, he had a great camp, came back well off the injury from last year, and has looked good. I always worry about the kicker and the punter, but these two guys are pretty good, and we feel like we're in a good spot with them.
Mind if we keep you around here?
That'd be great.
So Ritter able to push this into the end zone. It is a Plenty of fans arriving at Paycor Stadium for this last tune-up before the regular season, week 3 of the NFL preseason. And Cincinnati, an excellent drive. The scoring drive brought to you by Paramount Plus. 9 plays. It's the 41-yarder from Milton that really got it going, got it inside the 5. And it takes just over 4 minutes to grab the first touchdown of the game for the Bengals. This bobbled in the end zone. You want to get as many returns in preseason as you can, but you don't want to get them like that. Come back into the booth, everyone. Mike Watts, Anthony Munoz, and Duke Tobin still with us here. So here comes the Cincinnati defense. What are the things you're looking for in a game like this where a lot of the 1s and 2s got their burn, not only in the Washington game, but in a pretty intense practice week as well coming out of it?
Yeah, you want consistency. You want to see the next step from these guys. This is important tape for these guys, not only with the Cincinnati Bengals, but the rest of the league. And for everybody that's in these last preseason games, this is their resume, and we want to see them take what they've learned and put it out on the field and play with intensity, play with violence, play with fierceness. That's what we want out of these guys.
You know, Duke, and that's the fun thing for me. You know, it's like, I get it all the time. Well, you're not going to see the story. I said, to me, it's fun to watch these guys because they're fighting for jobs. You know, they're going to lay it out there. They're going to be, you know, hitting hard and getting after it because they want a spot somehow either on the regular squad, the practice squad, or maybe somebody else's.
Right.
So I enjoy watching these guys.
There's not a guy in uniform out there that we don't believe in, or we wouldn't have him here. So we want the best for these guys. We want them all to produce, and it's fun to see them, you know, put it all together here and play. See what they got.
Riley Leonard facing 2nd down and 8. Toss is short. Got him down. That is an excellent open field tackle from Nate Brooks. I think there's been a lot of talk about how Lux has handled things here at the outset. We get a chance to see Brooks. We saw a lot of Jalen Davis. We got to see Marco Wilson today. Yeah. What have you seen out of the corner positions
real
to this
great
point?
Competition. You know, we've got some guys with real traits: speed, change of direction. You know, Al has been doing a really great job with the technique teaching, and so we've got a real competition there. Who makes the team? Who is our practice squad guys that we can elevate and play?
Offense number 62. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
But it doesn't matter how you got here, whether you're on our practice squad last year or whether you were a college free agent signed well after the draft. You know, if you have the traits, we're going to put you in a position to show it. And those guys you mentioned have all shown something to us.
That'll push it back to 3rd down and 10. Leonard fields a high snap, gets flushed. He's on the run, and he'll ground it. Before we let you go, what do you think of the rookie linebackers to this point? I think there's going to be a lot put on Carter and Knight this year from an early moment. Yeah, transform that room. That was one thing Al wanted to do. That's one thing we attacked in the offseason, and we've been really pleased with the young guys and the progression of guys like Shaka Hayward and Joe Giles Harris and guys like that who have come in and done well for us. So complete transformation of the room, and then we've got Logan, you know, as kind of the anchor, but we really like those young guys. Good.
That's it. I just want to say good luck up in Cleveland.
Appreciate it, guys.
We'll be watching.
Yeah.
Come home with the win.
Yeah, that's the plan.
We'll be watching the next couple of days and next week on what happens.
It's a busy time. It's a fun time, though, to get our team set and ready to go.
Burton trying to reverse field, goes down at the 16. To Echo, yeah, good luck in Cleveland. Good luck the rest of the way. We're going to be rooting for you all the way to the Super Bowl.
Appreciate it, guys.
Oh, man.
Great job as usual.
Thank you.
Duke Tobin with us here in the booth. And Cincinnati coming off a defensive stop. And a nice moment for the offense getting downfield in a hurry. See what the flag is here.
Number 34, the kicking team, went out of bounds on his own during the kick. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot. Cincinnati's ball, 1st and 10. Timeout on the field.
Duke Shelley probably thought that was being launched all the way to Kentucky. It's 10-7 here in Cincinnati. Bengals have the ball. Presented by Paramount Plus.
The first thing you notice about Skyline is the cheese.
Get an edge with Bengals banking. Visit 53.com/Bengals to learn more about our 5th Third Better perks for Bengals fans like you. Cincinnati offense on the field, but Jermaine Burton came up a bit gingerly after fielding this punt. You know, we spoke with Zach Taylor yesterday, and we were trying to get an idea of what the wide receiver room, and really every room, would look like as cutdown day arrives. And he goes, what I've learned in 7 years is you never know until Tuesday what that's going to look like. Ritter, a deep drop, and now escapes. He's going to use his legs out across the 25-yard line and scampers out at the 30. Got flushed by Land, who's been everywhere so far. You certainly hope it's not anything significant for Burton. He's sitting on the bench at present juncture. Odds are he wasn't going to play all that far into the game this afternoon either way. So a little more shine for some guys a little further on the depth chart. And who knows, maybe there's just a little glimmer for some of these guys to have that special game like we saw from Mitch Tinsley in Washington on Monday night. Ritter from under center. The give, it's Brightwell. That's a first down, and it is 5 Colts all together to bring him back. A 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. B.J. Hill is healthy and ready for the regular season, and of course he's ready to stand by with Marissa.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Well, B.J., it's been great seeing you ramp up back at practice this week. Just how have you been feeling, and is the goal still to be ready for week 1?
That's the goal. I'm excited to be back out there with the guys running around, having fun. Like I said, I'm just excited to be back out there playing football.
Now, there's a handful of younger guys in this defensive line group. What have you seen out of some of them through camp so far?
Young, smart, athletic guys that love playing football. You can see it each and every day. They're ready to come in and just want to get better, asking a lot of questions that help their game. And I'm excited for these young guys who's coming in.
Now, as one of the veteran defenders in this defense, just what has your message to your teammates been this preseason?
Just be consistent. I think that's the goal for us, just to be consistent, make sure we're on top of our game each and every play, each and every quarter in game. So if we do that, I think we'll take care of business.
Now, with Al coming in as new defensive coordinator, just what has stood out the most to you with the scheme he wants to run, and how is this approach maybe going to challenge you as a player?
You know, for one, I just love the way he just comes and approaches the game with a lot of swagger, allow us to be us, have fun, and play free. I'm glad we got him in the building. He's going to bring the best out of me and the other guys, too, in the building.
All right, so I also heard that you're doing a little bit of undercover
77.
work.
10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So I heard you're doing some undercover work here this afternoon. Have you told your teammates what your assignment is, or is that staying under wraps?
No, I definitely tell them. You know, I don't want them saying nothing too crazy while I'm around. So they're trying to avoid me as much as possible.
Well, B.J. Hill, Mic'd Up, will be a part of our Best of Mic'd Up series feature. That will air September 1st on Fox 19 now as part of our Bengals season preview special. B.J., thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be tuning in for that. I was worried we weren't going to find out what the undercover mission was for B.J. Hill. It was a holding penalty that inches Cincinnati back into 2nd and 16, approaching midway point of the second quarter. Ritter escapes, still has his eyes downfield. He'll toss it toward the far sideline. And that is Grandy taking it into the bench. That is Land pressuring again. You know, I think we talked with Duke a little bit about what the roster looks like now. Don't forget, every team's watching this game. The Bengals are watching every other game. And you think back, B.J. Hill, you flip him for Billy Price, and you think we have Larry Ogunjobi, and we've got a plan here. Ogunjobi gets hurt. B.J. Hill's the one who's intercepting Patrick Mahomes in the 2021 AFC title game.
You're right. Always looking at the waiver wire, always looking at trades until it's definite, it's over with. You're always looking because someone slips through and they, gets released, or this happens and you pick them up and they become a difference maker. So that's why Duke and his staff are constantly looking at individuals.
Grandy gets this within 2 yards of the sticks, and Ritter isn't going to the sideline yet.
The thing that I've been impressed with this first half, not only you saw a tough run there, but Brightwell and, of course, Kendall Milton, the way they've been running hard. They initiate the contact. We can hear it up here. They're making great reads on the run. It's just not all power. They're able to see holes and maneuver and sidestep people. So that's been very impressive with these two running backs so far this first half.
Brightwell lowered the boom on that holding call. He dropped his shoulder and
First charge timeout. Cincinnati.
Cincinnati will use their first timeout. You wonder if they'll come back out with their offense or special teams. Now, Desmond Ridder, we mentioned as he first came out onto the field, chance to play in stripes as a starter in Cincinnati for the first time. But Joe Burrow nearly ended up at Cincinnati. He goes to LSU. It opens the door to Desmond Ridder, and what does he do with it? 42-6 as a collegiate starter, 10,000 yards as a Bearcat. And as he comes off the field, he was the face of a program that went from really solid and intermittently great to, for that one amazing year, sell out every weekend at Nippert and reaching the college football playoff.
Well, it's fun because not only were the Bearcats hot, but the Bengals. So we had our two football teams at the same time that were doing pretty well.
Yeah, it was awesome. Rico, good punt. Solid coverage, too. And it is Wagner, the long snapper, making the tackle. This game presented by Paramount Plus. Back here in Cincinnati, Indianapolis, a 10-7 lead. We'll see a lot of Desmond Ridder in this first half. Into the second half, and we talk about his time at the University of Cincinnati. Whatever records existed, he shattered. He was recruited to UC, of course, by Zach Taylor. Touchdowns galore, including a touchdown to current Colt Alec Pierce. Everybody getting in on the act, and, well, yeah, everyone seemingly, with how close these teams are, foes now, friends before.
You know, and I mentioned earlier, it was so exciting to see the Bearcats doing so well. I mean, we had the Bengals doing well, but when you have the college team in your city doing well, that you got a double whammy there, and that was pretty cool. Anthony
Gould, who's an excellent return man, getting some extra time on offense here. I mean, I remember going to Nippert. They were ranked in the top 25. Munchie Legault at the time was the quarterback for the Bearcats, if that gives you any idea of the timeline. With Fordham and just the whole atmosphere of it. You mentioned it. That's at a point where the Bengals were so good at that moment, going to the playoffs every year, and of course going to the Super Bowl during that Desmond Ridder era in which they went to the college football playoff. The city's better when the teams are good, and right now it looks like that's the case across the board. This out to the 48-yard line, and John Meta and Anthony combined to hit Laquan Treadwell. We're certainly hoping for a run to Reds October, and FC Cincinnati's right in the Shield race, trying to win MLS Cup this year. Looking forward to seeing what the Bearcats put out here in the fall. It's a good time to be a sports fan in Cincinnati, no doubt. Leonard now 9-12 for 88. And most of that damage has been to Laquan Treadwell. Oh, nearly picked off. And is that still a live ball? Now they say it's incomplete. Lance Robinson jumped that. Wow. And he may have somersaulted into total green space and a potential touchdown.
He might have overran that. He was running so fast. I thought for sure it was 6. We'll take a look here. Whoa.
Wow.
Boy, he read that in a hurry. Great play. The second-year player out of Tulane.
Had 4 picks in his senior year at Tulane. Worked both as a boundary corner and as a slot corner as well there for the Green Wave. Leonard hands off up the middle. There's not a ton to be had here for Ulysses Bentley IV. P.J. Jules getting downhill, making the hit.
Talked about him earlier. This is what those safeties like to do. Come up and hit somebody, and Jules did that. Way to fill the hole.
Somewhere the folks at Kettering Health are like, that was our player to watch. P.J. Jules, first team All-American in FCS, was top 10 in voting for Defensive Player of the Year for Southern Illinois. Colts are 0 for 4 on third down today. Leonard unloading for the sideline. Gould diving. He caught it, but he did not stay in bounds. Incomplete, and the Bengals
ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. It's 4th down.
Defense remains perfect on third down this afternoon.
I'll tell you what, he was hit a little bit open there, but didn't make the catch. So good. That's all that matters. Yeah.
I wonder if Shane Steichen's going to want them to take a look at that, because it's the toes go down and then the knee right around the white paint.
Indianapolis has challenged the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass. The previous play is under review.
Instant replay official today is Kevin Stein. Now, for a moment, think about Indianapolis. Daniel Jones comes in from the Giants. He actually pit stopped in Minnesota. Arrives now as the starting quarterback. Shane Steichen asked this week about what it means for Anthony Richardson, a chance to start the season from the bench for the first time and get a different vantage point. You look at the grab here by Goulden. Does he get that knee down right before he hits the white paint? That first replay we saw, I think so. Shane Steichen thinks he knows the answer. And they're showing it up on the video board here at Paycor Stadium as well. It's really close, and they're starting to move the football. That's usually the answer.
Mike, you know, it's amazing. You're talking about Daniel Jones and Richardson. Daniel Jones, this is going to be his 7th year.
Crazy, right? Nuts.
I mean, I'm thinking 2-3 years. All of a sudden, when I was reading through this, I said, 7 years. Wow, that's flown by. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
After review, the Indianapolis receiver completed the process of the catch inbounds, got his knee down inbounds. It is a completed catch for a first down. Please set the game clock to 5 minutes, 10 seconds, please. The Indianapolis ball, 1st and 10. Indianapolis will not be charged with a timeout and has earned 1 additional challenge.
That's a lot of bookkeeping to do.
No script.
So it's a fresh set of downs for the Colts and a chance for us to head downstairs. A lot of excitement around T. Higgins this year with Marissa.
That's right, Mike. Well, T, you and Jamar are both signing long-term deals this offseason to remain in Cincinnati. Just why has Cincinnati felt like home, and how will you guys continue to build with Joe?
You know, Cincinnati always felt like home to me. You know, like I once said before, you know, I grew up, you know, watching Cincinnati because, you know, A.J. Green was here. That was my idol, you know, growing up. And but, you know, it felt good, you know, signing here, you know, because, you know, Cincinnati's home now. And, you know, it's very important for us to keep going as a trio, you know, just keep building and getting better and better each and every day.
Now, there's been so much talk about this team having one of the strongest and most explosive offenses in the league. Just how do you and your teammates embrace those expectations?
We just go out there and just be us at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You know, Coach Pitch and Zach, they put us in great position to make plays. And, you know, Joe does what he do, and me and Uno just do what we do.
Now, you and Joe just have such an undeniable chemistry. What's the secret to your connection?
I mean, like I said, I just go out there and just do it. Be in the right place where Joe needs me, and that's the rest is history.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot with this one, but is there something about Joe that maybe early on when you started working with him that kind of maybe surprised you a little bit?
I always knew he was a smart guy, but once he started playing chess, you know, by himself at his locker, that's when I knew he knows something that I don't know. So.
All right, well, see, something that I always look forward to, and I'm sure our fans do as well, is just the celebrations we get to see on Sundays. The offense from the defensive guys make a play. Where do you rank your end zone dance celebrations?
I don't do too much dancing, but when I do, I rank myself top three for sure.
All right, so who are the other two then in the top 3 with you?
I have to go. He don't get in the end zone too much, but Jordan Battle's a good dancer. Other than that, I got to go Andre.
All right, appreciate the time, T. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa.
Great job, Marissa. Hey, I don't know about you, I got to make a visit to the pro shop here.
Yeah.
If they sell the swag that Duke's been wearing and the guys wear, I've got to do a little shopping, get me some of that nice looking swag.
You're going to be getting, I think, a big box to your door just because you said that, if I had to guess.
I don't know, but it's pretty cool. I'm a hat guy. I got about 400 baseball hats, and that hat T. Higgins had is pretty sweet.
Bentley driving like a Ford on that play. Raymond Johnson getting him. By the way, I was thinking back, I think it was Chidobe Awuzie who was actually ranked on an internet chess website, who would have been here when Joe first started with the team. There was actually a decent contingent of chess players.
That's cool.
In the locker room.
Doesn't I think Chris Collinsworth has a chess tournament here in town.
Does he?
If I'm not mistaken. Maybe get Joe involved in that, get him signed up and see if he can bring a championship.
Leonard finds Gould. That's inside the 10. That's a first down. That's Lux and Jules who combined to bring him down. And the Colts are into the red zone. Joe's been out here playing 3D chess for a while as well. That's a nice strike of a throw from Leonard as we tick down to 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
This is the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the first half.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Already heard from T. Higgins. We just saw Jamar Chase up on the scoreboard being honored as being part of the very exclusive Madden 99 club. Although he's already out here similar to how you've been with Riley and Anderson trying to get Joe Burrow into the 99 club, like you're trying to get them into the Hall of Fame.
I can't believe you have to try to get Joe into the 99 club.
Right?
To me, it's like he's in. Why don't they come to me and let me vote or let me do something with that game? Because I'm sorry, but he is a 99.
Yeah, I don't know what he needs to do to add to
exactly.
that. But after leading the league in passing yards, passing touchdowns, and that duo looked great in preseason, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in Cleveland in a couple of weeks.
Many more connections to come, and I'd like about 3 or 4 up by the lake.
Triple Crown winner. And most, as I mentioned, yards and passing touchdowns in the NFL last season for Joe Burrow. And a clean bill of health this year allows him to get the full run in. You know, we talked with Duke Tobin, and he goes, you know, you look at Jamar and T and Joe, none of them feel like they've reached their peak yet. And that's the really fun part about this. How do you get better than that? Amazing.
I mean, they're what, 27, 28, 29 years old. And look at this. I mean, it's the guy's on fire. Touchdown pass the first 5 seasons. Dan Marino, tell you what, that man could fling the ball. He could spin it.
Yep. And that's the kind of conversation we're having about Joe against the all-time greats now. Leonard in the gun. Will hand off. That's Bentley, who got stood up inside the 5. Got hit by Jules, and then Lance Robinson, the corner, intervenes as well. Cincinnati's got a couple of timeouts in the bag. And they want the football back, so they're going to use one now.
Yeah, the guy, I mean, there's so many attributes that are impressive about Joe. I mean, you look at the stats, you go, yeah, but, you know, I look at the way he handles situations during a game, adversity and success. I mean, the guy is just unflappable. I mean, you know, he can, not many times, but he can throw a pick 6, and he comes right back and he takes the team 80 yards for a touchdown. It's like it doesn't affect him. And that's what you love about a leader, to have someone that, you know, forgets about that, comes back out and say, we got a job to do, let's go.
And he looks like Joe Cool on the bench here today. Leonard, handoff, plunging. It is a touchdown for Bentley. And Indianapolis stretches the lead back out with less than 2 minutes to play in the first half.
Nothing fancy, just you see a nice block right there, but trans to the left tackle, pushing the defender inside, giving Bentley that left side of the offensive line, and touchdown.
Maddox Trujillo will go for the point after. The field goal that Indianapolis hit from 40 yards was from Spencer Schrader earlier in the half. And that one's true. So Indianapolis up 17-7 as they go 12 plays over just over 5 minutes and finish the job with Bentley's 2-yard touchdown trudge. I think the vibes around this team are pretty good. I think one thing that stood out to me from, I read it was about 50 plays that the offense and defense went at it this week. Only 1 offensive touchdown. I was at training camp at the end of July, and the defense looked excellent. Al Golden said, I'll take the slings and arrows of playing a vanilla defense in preseason if it's going to help us in the long run. And ultimately, you can be assured that the Bengals feel they're in good shape to go to Cleveland here in a couple weeks and put on a good performance and start off on the right foot this year.
And that's one of the things I've been saying, because people ask me right away, what do you think of the Bengals? What about their defense? I said, you know what? It's preseason. We got a new defensive coordinator, some young guys, but I think we'll be fine. I think with Al Golden's scheme and what he's doing, I mean, you heard Duke talk about, you know, the fundamentals and the teaching. That goes a long way playing football. So I'm looking forward to that first game to see how they do, and I believe they'll do well.
Williams on a short kickoff will take this out to about the 36-yard line. And Desmond Ridder and the offense get a chance at a 2-minute drill to try and cut into the deficit before the break.
That's always good for, you know, either side to get situational football, especially for the offense. You got, like you mentioned, minute 46. They got a 2-minute opportunity here, starting at their own 36-yard line. So let's see how he handles the offense. He hasn't been in here that long now. You know, you got to kind of speed it up a little bit, maybe time management. Let's see how Ridder does here.
Drops and throws. That is batted back into the backfield. Third tip pass that Ridder has suffered. Eric Johnson got up with a big paw to get a piece of it. Ridder did try out for the Colts in June in their mini camp, ultimately signed in Cincinnati July 20th.
Yeah, that's one of the awareness that most D linemen know now. If they can't get penetration and they can see the quarterback there long enough, they got those big paws, they just get it up there and hopefully knock it down, which they did right then.
Ridder 5 of 11, 47 yards. He threw the pick 6. He also ran for a score with a quarterback sneak. This is Ridder running again, and will scamper away from Desmond Little. Back to the line of scrimmage, and it's quickly third down. You know, for Ridder, you get drafted in the third round to Atlanta. They ultimately choose to sign Kirk Cousins and then trade him to Arizona. Lost the backup job there, which lands him in Las Vegas, and gets a chance to briefly start after O'Connell's injury. Started one game for Las Vegas. It was against the Falcons. Ridder throws over the middle, out of the reach of Isaiah Williams. Jonathan Edwards, the rookie undrafted out of Tulane, previously at Indiana State, involved. And Cincinnati will punt with 91 ticks on the clock.
Well, you get an opportunity, 2-minute drill. You don't want to use, 15 seconds and turn it right back over and give the opponents an opportunity with the 2-minute drill. So would have loved to have seen some completed passes there, a little pressure. Ridder had to kind of run around. All right, let's see what the defense can do here now.
William Wagner was the long snapper there. He and Cal Adamitis still going toe-to-toe in that position battle. And wouldn't you know it, he's there to help make the tackle. Made a tackle earlier on special teams. P.J. Jules got their first 52-yard punt for Rico. And the Colts offense now with the full complement of timeouts. You know, Ryan Rico stepping in, and it was a bit up and down for a couple of years after the steadiest of punting positions in all of the NFL for so long. And last year, booming the ball to the tune of 49 yards a punt.
That's pretty good. I'd say that's pretty good. We talked about it earlier. The place kicker and the punter, I think, we're pretty settled on. Duke mentioned that, they're settled. I mean, they got two of the best right there. And McPherson coming back from the injury, feeling much better.
Yeah. And look, you mentioned come back from an injury. That's why you're always looking. It's such a difficult position to fill. There's always kickers that can do a job, but can they do the job?
Yep.
They know they've got two guys here who can. This grab by Blaine Taylor. He'll get out to the 41-yard line. Sticks move. Brooks and John Meta combine to hit him. And the Colts are moving, and they've kept their timeouts intact. Leonard goes to work. And will ground it, looking for Taylor at the sideline.
He's had some good protection there. Those quick passes. That one wasn't completed, giving the Bengals a chance to really read quickly. You know, if they're given the quick pass, then they got to make the tackle right away, and that's what they were doing in the first quarter.
By the way, to the surprise of nobody, Muma Jongmeta is already up to 6 tackles in this game. He had 10 in his first preseason game last year that really put him on everybody's radar. And with 2 rookie linebackers taken early in the draft, fighting for his spot. Leonard launching. Treadwell's got it. And Treadwell will walk into the end zone for an Indianapolis touchdown. A 59-yard bomb to Laquan Treadwell.
Take a look at this. Leonard, plenty of time to find Treadwell. You see he steps up into the pocket. Nobody in front of him. His offensive line secured that. Steps up and hits Treadwell on the run.
And that is Riley Leonard's first NFL touchdown. And it doesn't look much prettier than that. And a great day for Laquan Treadwell. Trying to get some tread in Indy. Trujillo will knock it through. So Leonard, who's trying to stick around as the third QB behind Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, has hit Treadwell on all 6 targets for 116 and a 59-yard touchdown.
And that was a nice pass. Beautiful pass there to Treadwell. Nice tight spiral. Hit him right on the run. Led him perfectly. Doing an excellent job this first half.
Riley Leonard, from that loss to Northern Illinois to wins over number 8 Indiana, number 2 Georgia, number 4 Penn State in the expanded college football playoff before falling to Ohio State in the national championship game. Of course, the defensive coordinator when he was at Notre Dame, Al Golden, and his first touchdown comes at Golden's expense. Now the defensive coordinator in Cincinnati. Isaiah Williams will carry forward, and perhaps to his benefit lost his footing and goes down. And 25 seconds and a timeout for Cincinnati to contemplate.
Yeah, I don't think much will happen here. I think let's go and regroup. Let's get some adjustments made, and then we'll come back out the second half and got the football. Colts won the toss and decided to take the football, so the Bengals have it open in the second half.
Well, Ritter's going to throw.
Oh, yeah, all right.
If you're going to give guys a look, might as well give them a look. And racing to the sideline, that's a vet move from Isaiah Williams. A former quarterback at Illinois. It was actually Chase Brown's quarterback at Illinois. Was undrafted in 2024 to Detroit initially, and then finished the year in Cincinnati. So that's a good chunk of yards. You keep the timeout. You've got 19 seconds remaining. And after a gain of 16, you're about 10 yards away from letting McPherson have a go at it. Ritter throws over the middle. That is tight, tight, tight coverage. And it is Alubi who is able to make contact with the ball. Shegu Alubi, who went to Saddleback College, which is Colt Brennan's alma mater before he went to Hawaii.
Now back neck of the woods where I grew up, down in Orange County.
Yeah. Ritter unloading up the sideline, and too far for Kendrick Pryor. And now 10 seconds remain, and it is third down. I've seen some pretty wild attempts in preseason.
Yeah. Let's keep it going. Get a couple more. You got a couple shots left.
"70 yards from Cam Little back on August the 9th. Would have been the NFL all-time record had it been in the regular season. Ritter throws. That's caught. It is at the 48-yard line. Cincinnati. I mean, this is really whether McPherson wants to have it or not. Bengals are going to let the time run out. And sometimes better not to expose yourself to the risk. And so the half comes to an end. So a couple big plays for the Colts proves to be the delineator in the first 30 minutes How about we head downstairs to Marissa?
Thanks, Mike. Well, Zach, on that touchdown drive, Kendall Milton had a lot of hard runs. He's already over 70 yards. Do you like the way he's running the ball in the first half?
I do. I think he's done a great job fighting for extra yardage, getting the explosives. The line have done a good job with him, so happy about that.
With 2 quarters left in the preseason, what's going to be your message to the team at half?
We'll just be great with the fundamentals. You know, there's a couple things that have got away from us on both sides of the ball lately here in the second quarter. Be better with our fundamentals and finish this game strong.
Thanks a lot, Zach. All right, Bengals, Colts at the half. We'll have more when we return from break right here on the Cincinnati Bengals Television Network.
Beautiful day in Cincinnati, and the fans have come out in droves. So excited to welcome regular season football back in 3 weeks. Regular season football in Cleveland in a couple weeks. And it's Indianapolis ahead here in week 3 of the preseason. Mike Watts, Anthony Munoz in our prideful orange polos here. What do you make of that first half? There's certainly a couple moments to clean up. The pick 6, the long touchdown at the end of the half. But Cincinnati certainly did run the football well, and that's good to see with the reserve offensive line.
I think early on the glaring thing were the penalties. We eliminated those. The running game, I love the way those running backs, Brightwell and Hilton were running. But other than that, I mean, you know, there's some things to clear up. I thought at times the coverage was pretty good. They're making, but then a couple breakdowns. But, you know, young guys out there playing, trying to earn a spot. And hopefully once you get going in the regular season, you don't see those big glaring mistakes.
How about we show you this assortment of first half highlights? And it's the scoring plays in this one. It's ultimately Ritter throwing the pick 6 late in the first quarter. Picked off by Scott. Cool moment for him. So many injuries the last couple of years. That ball was tipped en route, and then Ritter ultimately atones at the goal line, sneaking in for a Bengals touchdown early in the second quarter. The response from Bentley, and then the big play. Riley Leonard, 59 yards to Laquan Treadwell to put Indianapolis ahead 24-7 at the end of the half. The first half stats are brought to you by Paramount Plus. What did they tell you, Anthony?
Well, we talked about the running game. The Bengals close to 100 yards, but the big one is the total yards, the 183 passing yards, and you had the one big one we saw in the highlight, the touchdown pass by Leonard. So, you know, Bengals only have 65 passing yards, a little better protection, give the quarterback Ritter, whoever's in there the second half, some protection, hit some passes downfield. One turnover, but for the most part, the glaring thing, passing yards, total yardage.
So we'll see more of Desmond Ritter here in the second half. And it's a picturesque day. You hope we get a lot of days like this in the fall. Kendall Milton is back to return here for Cincinnati, along with Isaiah Williams, who handled most of the duties after Jermaine Burton seemed to pick up a little knock to his ankle in the first half. Also saw Dejon Anthony in the blue tent for a stint. And if we get an update there, we'll let you know. Not a lot you can do with that if you're Williams.
Nope, that was deep.
The Colts just have, you went from McAfee and whether it's Vanderjagt or Vinatieri, I mean, special teams have always been good from the Colts, but they've got some serious leg this year.
They do. I mean, you know the crazy thing, though, you mentioned that. Look around the league, though, the way these young guys kick the ball now. I mean, if you're the punter, kickers, the strength and the Jim Breach, who I played with the entire time, all-time leading scorer, we talk about that and just how they thump the ball now and the sound and the distance. It is amazing.
It's a handoff to start the half, trying to find the edge. And crawling forward, Kendall Milton, Isaiah Land making the tackle. Marissa caught up with defensive coordinator Al Golden at the half. What do you have to say?
Well, guys, he said outside of giving up that explosive play there before the half, he was overall pleased with the way the defensive operated and played there in the first 2 quarters. He said, look, you have to remember, these guys are not only fighting for jobs, but they're playing a lot. The majority of the guys are also playing on special teams here today. He said he told his guys just remain positive, keep it simple, and play fast here in these final 2 quarters.
Thank you, Marissa. This bobbled in and out of the hands of Tanner McLaughlin, a Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada native. Came out of initially southern Utah and then was at Arizona. He actually passed Rob Gronkowski for most receiving touchdowns in Arizona history. And another hello to all our friends watching coast to coast on TSN in Canada, as well as on the Bengals app and on the Bengals website. Bengals are 0 for 5 on third down today. Ritter with a free rusher, and he got dropped. Isaiah Land is having a day to remember for the Colts. He has just been a menace.
Caleb Etienne's got to know the snap count. He just stayed. Oh my goodness, Isaiah Land. You're right. I was going to mention him. A couple previous plays. He's continuing to have a game, not only in the first half, but now. Can't allow a clean shot like that on your quarterback.
Coleman Owen has handled the returning duties. Wide receiver out of Ohio. Bobcat has got a real chance to be a part of the roster here, and Cincinnati launches this down to about the 20 through Rico. And here comes the Bobcat out toward midfield. And did he step out of bounds? He did at the 42-yard line. Coleman Owen, quite impressive. An undrafted free agent, 52-yard punt by Rico. This game is presented by Paramount Plus. Year number 50 for Dave Lapham with the Cincinnati Bengals. 140 games as a player at left guard, about 850 as a broadcaster, and he's headed to the Ring of Honor October 26th against the Jets.
That's my guy. I tell you what, that first shot was of Lapp and I side by side in one of the coolest games ever, the Freezer Bowl.
Coldest,
but
yeah.
You know, it was a little chilly that day. But the guy, everyone loves Dave. I mean, not only was he a great football player, but even better person. And, you know, I am thrilled to be able to call him a friend. Every year for just about 24 years, he's co-emceed my foundation dinner. Whenever we call him, he's in, willing to help out any way he can. So not only on the field did he do a tremendous job here for the Bengals. As we know, I mean, I love listening to Lapp when I'm driving and maybe home early from a game here, or you know, when they're on the road, I turn off the TV most of the time and turn Lapp on. So, you know, the guy's just, what more can you say about Dave Lapp? And Dave Lapp, if you have not seen, when we had our 50th anniversary and Dave and Dan did the videos for all 50 guys, I mean, you talk about a guy that you would have thought he played with all 50. That's what a great job he did making those videos for the 50th anniversary.
Jelani Woods gets down to about the 30-yard line. Howard Cross makes the tackle. I hope we hear many, many times this year Dan Horde say, coffin nails.
That's right.
Bam, bam, bam.
That's right.
Look forward to listening all year long and celebrating Lapp on October 26th. We're building a heck of an O-line room in the Ring of Honor, by the way.
Exactly. I tell you what, yeah. I wouldn't mind just, well, you can pass the ball because you got Boomer and Kenny Anderson, but you got Isaac Curtis, but we can run the ball.
Yeah.
We'll run the ball. Corey Dillon. Isaac Curtis and Chad Johnson won't be too excited about me saying, let's run the ball, let's run the ball.
Look at the Ring of Honor that's prepared to add another two names, Parrish and Lapham, in October.
How about that matchup? Lamar Parrish against Isaac Curtis. Or Chad Johnson, either one.
I'm glad they stayed on our team.
I am too, but I would have paid money to see that matchup. That would have been an amazing matchup between those two wide receivers and Lamar Parrish.
Jason Bean is in at quarterback, and like Riley Leonard, shows the ability to stretch his legs. Came in with about a minute and a half to play in the fourth quarter against Green Bay. Tossed the ball 7 times, 6 years of college, but he never started over 10 games in any of those seasons. He went to North Texas, Ben Baby shout out, and then finished at Kansas, an undrafted free agent last year to Indianapolis. He was the first overall pick by the Memphis Showboats, but eschewed that opportunity. Bean throwing over the middle. And that's snagged, and John Meta makes the hit.
Another tackle.
Tyler Common.
John Meta, another tackle. Take a look at it. Pretty decent protection right there. Quick pass, but John Meta right on it, right away. Making the tackle on number 43, Tyler Conman. Wisconsin, you know you're always going to get pretty good football players out of University of Wisconsin.
Especially guys that are going to hit.
Yes.
Linebackers, linemen.
Well taught, physical. Oh, no.
And there goes Bentley weaving his way in, and the Colts expand their lead early in the third quarter. Second touchdown for Bentley. The first from 2, this from 12.
Wow. Okay. Let's take a look at that. What happens here? They open up and he just makes a nice cut back to the inside. Taven Bryan had it shut off from the outside. Did a nice job with that outside shoulder, not letting the tackle hook him. But Bentley just took it right inside and scores a touchdown.
Colts continuing to swap place kickers in and out. That's Schrader. And that's good. A timeout on the field here in Cincinnati. 6 plays, 58 yards. Colts up 31-7. The game presented by Paramount Plus. Bengals luxury suites provide a great view of the action while offering an unparalleled combination of features and amenities. With limited inventory available, visit Bengals.com/suites to get yours today. If you're getting a suite for a game, what looks good to you? Anything in the north? Is it that simple? Do you go for the Lapham game? What's the?
Yeah, I would like to have maybe another 10 linemen in a suite celebrating lap. You know? Maybe as he's getting his jacket on the field, we all line up in like a formation, and then we have somebody help us get out of the stance.
Ken Anderson is carrying the ball behind 10 linemen up to carrying the jacket.
Yeah.
Love it. So Ritter's going to remain in. That was the game plan. We should see him all the way to about the fourth quarter. Gary Brightwell is in alongside him. Brightwell, a 6th-round pick in 2021 to the New York Giants. Joined the practice squad back on November the 11th. And Ritter just a hair high for Jordan Moore, the former Duke quarterback who actually competed with Riley Leonard for the job. There is Peyton Thorne, who we anticipate seeing, the Naperville, Illinois native who played at Michigan State. And then Auburn should get his chance. We did see Joe Burrow out pregame, and you and I were chatting about this a little bit, the idea of a 1 o'clock game. Okay, Joe's not playing. They all went through the same sort of when you arrive, going out onto the field with warm-ups.
Waking up, pregame meal at a different time than nighttime. You know, they come to the stadium. You don't have sitting around in a hotel at home all day long. You're up and you're going. And for me, that's what I love. I mean, I know you get rewarded by playing Monday night, but I love getting up, eating at 9, getting to the stadium, and kicking off at 1. Just get it going. So, yeah, even though they didn't play, they're on that regular schedule, the schedule they'll be on if the Cleveland Brown game stays at 1 o'clock. So you get used to that. You get your body waking up earlier. You get your body getting to the stadium at a different time.
Well, the Bengals are going to play at all times on pretty much all days. Kendall Milton giving Brightwell a rest after getting this down to 3rd and 1. Ritter, the pocket was clean. Now it's broken, and Ritter doing what Ritter does best. He slides down across midfield, but a flag in the backfield. That is Marcus Haynes, who forced him out.
So did I hear like a basketball theme here? Marcus Haynes, Isaiah Thomas.
Holding on offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 3rd down.
And that's Seth McLaughlin, who came back from an Achilles tear in November. He still won the Remington Trophy. That's best center in college football.
You know what? I don't know. I know he grabbed a little bit of cloth, but come on. I thought that was a pretty good position by McLaughlin. I mean, he had good base, had his arms out. I guess he did grab a little material there. And, of course, I was an offensive lineman, so I'm not going to.
Well, Ritter will try and make up for it here. He's going to make up for a lot more than that. Owens!
Yes,
ball flipped out of his hands as he hits the ground. And, yeah, the sideline official waving incomplete. Alex Johnson going stride for stride with him, and he was able to force the ball free at the very end.
Well, I thought I had him. He had really good protection, throws the ball up there. You see, Owens has the inside position, but he can't come down with it. Oh, right there. Nice job. He got the inside hand in there. Knocks it down. Alex Johnson.
Owens, the undrafted player out of Oklahoma State. Rico.
Wow.
Anything you can do, I can do better. He's going to catch this at the 1-yard line and carry it out from the 5.
Holy smokes.
And down at the 7. I don't know about that. Giles Harris makes the hit on Coleman Owen. Back in a moment.
Do they?
Welcome back to Paycor Stadium, where I am joined by Bengals' new defensive tackle, TJ Slaton. TJ, I know fans are so excited to see you take the field week 1 in Cleveland. When you signed with Cincinnati in the offseason, what ultimately led you into wanting to be a Bengal?
Well, it was a lot to do with, the culture they have here, and then I had an old coach that I used to play with previously that was coming here, so that made the decision easier to be able to come here and help the team.
You mentioned that old coach, Jerry Montgomery, Bengals D-line coach. At halftime, we ran a feature about the two of you and your relationship. Just what can Bengals fans expect to see with the style of play that will be brought to the D-line this year?
Very physical front, very smart front. We're going to run to the ball, with him, and we're just going to play aggressive.
Now, you've known Jerry a long time. Can you tell us something that fans might not know about Jerry that they should know?
He's smarter than he looks now. He's smart. He's a real detailed guy. He's really big on the game and the details. So he really pushes us hard to really learn the extra parts of the game and really puts time into studying and seeing things that we can get so we can play faster.
Now, you mentioned the word physical before. Can you expand on just kind of what identity you want the Bengals defensive line and the defense as a whole to play with this season?
Yeah, I mean, you want your defense to be, physical. We want to play fast. We want to be nasty. You feel me? And then we just, we want to stop the ball. We want to get to the, we want to stop rushing the passer. You feel me? We just want to go out there and play hard, man. At the end of the day, have fun.
And TJ, when you look at this group that we have here on the D-line, there's a lot of experience, but there's also a lot of young talent. Just how has the chemistry been coming along with the group, and how have you helped mentor some of these young guys?
Oh, they just, they have their questions. You got to answer them. And then we just have fun with each other, man. They good, and we just we communicate well with each other. So we just trying to play hard. And just get everything as one.
TJ, can't wait to see you out there. Thanks for the time.
78 of the offense. The penalties declined. 2nd down.
Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, TJ. I think when you look at where the defense is at right now, we didn't see B.J. Hill at all in preseason. We didn't see much of TJ Slaton. Slaton signing a 2-year deal. Didn't miss a single game in 4 years in Green Bay. 3 of those, his position coaches mentioned Jerry Montgomery. ESPN had him the #1 run-stop win rate in the NFL last year. That gives you an idea of what he's about to do.
I like the 2 things you mentioned. First of all, didn't miss a game, and then his ranking against the run. So we filled a spot that we needed. So kudos to Duke and the staff for bringing him in. But when you think about playing in this league and you think about not missing, it's a lineman not missing a game in 4 years, that's pretty impressive.
Because usually you play that long and you end up with a pinky finger like Anthony's.
Yeah, you tape it up and it's just kind of, you just don't give directions because you misdirect people. I said go right, but your pinky said go left, so I followed the pinky. I said, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. And they get lost.
Well, every time you drink a drink, you look very classy doing it.
I was at a live auction once and the bid was $300, so I put the 3 fingers up and the guy said $300, not $250.
Wow, what a grab. That is Bean taking a heck of a hit, and Coleman Owen atones for fielding a punt at his own 2-yard line by snagging that for 25.
Makes up for that one. I was surprised he got it. That punt was like crazy high and long, and he still brought it out.
I think it was a 68-yard punt, like a 5-yard return.
That works. That works for the old average.
Past the midway point here in the 3rd quarter. Indianapolis leading Cincinnati 31-7. And they've got the lone score of this 3rd quarter thus far. A game in which both teams did not play any starters. Something's gone awry.
Delay a game on the offense. Number 12. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
That can't make Jim Bob Cooter very happy. The offensive coordinator in Indianapolis.
University of Tennessee, Jim Bob Cooter. I love the name.
Yeah.
Jim Bob Cooter. He's actually been mentioned as a head coaching candidate.
Yeah.
Several times.
Spent some time in the Eagles. That's where he and Shane Steichen cross paths. Bean escapes. And will pick up whatever yardage he can. Howard Cross was the one that ultimately jutted him outside. Cross out of Notre Dame, played for Al Golden there. You mentioned the family lineage in the NFL. He's undersized, but he gets every ounce of what he can out of what is an undersized interior defensive line body.
And that's one of the things they told us week one in preseason. They said when you see Howard Cross, don't look at his physical makeup. Look at how he plays with heart and hard and physical. And then he does that exact thing.
Bean slings over the middle, and it's complete to Coleman Owen. And it's Craig Young who cleans him up. Isaiah Thomas, the football playing Isaiah Thomas, makes the hit. I knew what you were throwing down. I just, you know. Bean is 6 for 7 for 76 yards through the air. Good start for him. He's listed as a quarterback wide receiver on the roster when he initially arrived. He, like Michael Jordan would say, took that personally. This is a good run and a heck of a finish by Naquan Wright.
Wow.
Signed as a free agent just a couple of weeks ago. He was actually with Anthony Richardson at Florida for 3 years, a 15-yard gain.
Wow, you see Cross almost making the tackle, but Wright was not going to let an arm tackle bring him down. And boy, he hit that physical, hard. Both sides of the football. We're seeing some physical and hard-running running backs run tonight.
Yep.
Or this afternoon.
Week 3 is always the showcase for the running back.
Yep.
It used to be week 4, and that's when these teams always used to meet. It was like a rite of passage. It's the end around. And Coleman Owen showing a bit of versatility here on the carry. Down to about the 20-yard line.
How about this name? The days of the final Curtis Painter.
Yeah. Chad Kelly. I mean,
yeah.
we had some times, man.
Yep.
And today, that's Jason Bean and Peyton Thorne.
Yep.
Jim Sorgi, how deep do you want to go here?
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. that's awesome.
19 first downs for Indy in this game. And Bean throws, and that is snagged by Landon Parker, undrafted out of Troy, a former All-American FCS tight end at Wofford turned wide receiver. He's also a punter at Wofford, believe it or not.
Bean doing a nice job, play fake to the left, rolling out to the right, throwing that ball right on the money. You had Eric Gregory chasing for the Bengals, number 94. That's what we need in the booth. Next preseason, if it's hot, one of those misters. Keep me cool.
Anthony's request, but I'll be fine if it happens. Contact initially from Muma Jongmeta. Spinning inside the 10. And the sticks get put down. This will be a first down and goal.
You know, Mike, I think I'm starting to look at Muma Jongmeta as the name that, you know, every time I get a name and I just kind of love it. I love his name, especially he's been having a heck of a game. Number 45.
And as hard as he works, he's an elite academic as well. I think we'll be showing that to you shortly as well.
But you know the impressive thing, Duke talked about changing the culture, and he talked about the linebackers. How many of those draft picks are like 2-3-time academic All-Americans, postgraduate scholars? I mean, that's amazing. You talk about this young man. They're getting those guys that not only get it done in the field, but in the classroom first and foremost.
Akeem did a really good job chasing that down. You know, how many draft classes where it's 2-time, 3-time captain, all academic in this conference, academic All-American.
You're right.
12 plays on this drive, and Bean throws for the end zone. And Landon Parker was a bit helter-skelter with it, popped it in the air, but couldn't ultimately pull it down.
Oh, he's wide open right there. Just overthrown. He knew he overthrew it. Let's just take a look at that. Barrett Carter, 3-time All-ACC honor roll, 3-time All-ACC academic team. How about Taj Brooks, 4-time academic All-Big 12? That's impressive.
Those are guys you want to build the club around.
Yep.
This is 3rd down and goal from the 7 for Jason Bean and the Colts. Bean looking left, throws over the middle. That is caught. It's a touchdown for Coleman Owen. And the Ohio Bobcat has found pay dirt at Paycor. And Jason Bean has been excellent for the Colts.
Well, especially with Braylon Lux, hands up, full speed coming in. He kind of just sidearms it a little bit. And he knows he's going to get hit. Lux doing an excellent job blitzing on that one. Just a tad too late to give Bean a lot of credit.
Colts were backed all the way up to their own 7, and they take it the distance. We'll step aside. 2:09 to play in the 3rd. The game presented by Paramount Plus.
I was born in Cameroon, West Africa, to Linda and Leo Jongmeta, 2 of the kindest and bravest souls I've ever known. My parents had a thirst for knowledge that led them across the world and back. It led my dad first to Nigeria at the age of 19 for his undergrad and then his master's. It led him to the University of Liverpool in Europe, where he got his PhD. In the darkest days of his life, it was his faith, his hope, and ultimately his belief in the opportunities education will bestow upon him and his family that kept him going. My mom, the oldest of 7, crossed the Gulf of Guinea in the Atlantic Ocean on the Lydia.
You hear from Muma Jongmeta, the Wisconsin grad, not only the undergrad, he went back and earned his MBA, delivered the speech at commencement this year for the Wisconsin MBA program. Over 1,000 in attendance. His mom, Linda, a Fulbright scholar. They came overseas from Cameroon to Texas A&M. His dad works at AbbVie. His mom works at Kraft Heinz. And he hit the speech. There was a story written by Jeff Hobson about what it meant for Muma to go back to Wisconsin and speak to all these young people about to endeavor into their professional lives. And he said, I didn't want my parents to know what I was going to say about them, so I had to hide the Hobson story too. And you want to talk about a guy who just came in and forced his way onto the roster last year. Ball gets underneath Thorne here, and sometimes better to just put it in the ground than put it back on the ground. Muma, a guy who ended up playing a ton of special teams last year, wherever he ends up on the cut line, because there are a couple rookies that got drafted. Talking with him in training camp for a spell, you're just mesmerized. He's clearly got so much between the ears, and so, hopefully he's in Cincinnati a long time, but whatever he does, you just know he's going to be successful.
I agree with you. Those are the kind of guys you need, not only on the football field, but in the locker room. And, if it doesn't work out, I can't see it not working out for him in this league, because he is very talented, as you mentioned, not only physically but mentally, and we need more individuals like that as part of the NFL.
That is a 3-and-out in the first drive for Peyton Thorne at the helm. And Jongmeta out on special teams, where Coleman Owen is back to return after catching the touchdown on the previous drive. That is Rico back to punt, and we'll see what level of orbit he puts this in. Everyone learned a lesson that time. Talk about the linebacking room, and there's one guy, the governor they call him in Wyoming, who's going to be sticking around for a while and will play a major role this year. Let's go down to Marissa with Logan Wilson.
Thanks, Mike. Well, Logan, you're reunited with Al Golden, of course, your linebackers coach your first 2 seasons. Now he's back as defensive coordinator. What have you seen out of his approach and just the way he's going to be leading this defense?
Yeah, he's trying to eliminate any gray area, make sure we're all on the same page, we're all teaching the same things in every single room, defensive backs, D-line, and linebacker room, making sure that there is no gray area so that we're all on the same page and you can kind of eliminate some plays throughout the season as long as we're all on the same page.
Now, Al has talked about the core 4 fundamentals and just how important those are going to be this upcoming season. Can you tell us a little bit about just some of that fundamentals and those mentality that he wants you to play with?
Yeah, I mean, we're practicing it really before practice and like these little pre-practice routine that we got going on, and we're trying to find a way to get turnovers and just try to grab an extra 5 minutes. Nothing too intense, but just try to work that mindset so that when we get to games, like it's not even something we're necessarily thinking about. It's just a reactionary thing, and so the more that we do that, the more we're going to force more turnovers, and the better off we're going to be as a team.
And then real quick, Logan, just wanted to ask you your impressions of Demetrius Knight and Barrett Carter so far.
Both 2 great young rookie linebackers that I'm excited that we added to this room. They're going to help us a lot, and I'm looking forward to watching them grow.
Appreciate the time, Logan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. There are 2 active players from the state of Wyoming in the NFL, and the other is Taven Bryan, who's been playing defensive line for the Bengals in this preseason. Those 2 actually were in high school together.
Casper, right?
Yeah, that's it. Bean throws and hits Jelani Woods for first down yardage. It was 3rd down, the coverage from Loyal, the safety. Jelani Woods is a mountain of a human. 6'7".
Big target.
Long strides to the sideline because the 3rd quarter's over. Back for the 4th next. Leapin' Lamar, electrifying, recognized for his charismatic personality, flashy attire in the 70s, the franchise's highest scoring defensive player. Touchdown returns recorded on 4 picks, 4 punts, 3 fumbles, and 1 kickoff. 25 interceptions as a Bengal is the 5th most in team history. Went on to record 22 more with Washington and Buffalo. 6 Pro Bowl selections, 2nd most ever by a Bengal defender. Lamar Parrish joins the Ring of Honor October 26th when the Bengals host the Jets.
Not only an amazing cornerback, defensive back, but he added that return specialist to it. You know, and had a chance to sit down, and we met with Mike Brown and the family, and you know, Kenny Riley had just gone in the Hall of Fame, and Mike was like, but you know, the guy that really deserves, we have several guys that deserve, he said, Lamar Parrish, because not only, like I just said, the player he was as a defensive back, but his return ability was just amazing. You mentioned some of the stats, so congratulations, Leapin' Lamar Parrish.
That's a lot of interceptions between the Rattler and Leapin' Lamar, huh?
Exactly, yep.
Bean getting chased and lost that into no man's land. Raymond Johnson hurried the quarterback. And yeah, Kenny Riley earning his rightful place in the Hall of Fame, although it came far, far too late. And here's Bean on the move.
Yeah, he wanted to load that when Raymond Johnson was right breathing down his throat.
It was Loyal who went diving for it. But you've got some of the great ball hawk corners in NFL history in the Bengals Ring of Honor now. Here's Bean, 3rd down and 6. He went down, but he wasn't touched. And Coleman Owen able to dig out another couple yards and a first down in the process. So Jalen Key unable to get him on the ground. And he hopped back up, and Owen happy to take the extra yards.
Hey, Mike, let's stay on that defensive back topic. I mean, there's guys, and I don't know their exact stats. I mean, we know Kenny Riley and Lamar. But I played with the pretty good one, number 34, Lewis Breeden.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis Breeden could cover. He had that, of course, that record interception for a touchdown out in San Diego against Dan Fouts. But, yeah, I had a chance to play with some pretty good cornerbacks. And we're watching a pretty good linebacker. And oh, my goodness. Great story on him, and on Jamera. But right there, man, he shot through and made an amazing tackle.
Man, Muma can hit.
Oh, yeah.
How about we go down to Marissa catching up with a player who could certainly hit too, Amarius Mims.
Thanks, Mike. And, I've never felt smaller than when I'm standing next to either Orlando or Amarius. Amarius, when you look at last season, you were thrust into that starting lineup there week 3. But once you were in there, you never looked back. When you look back on that now, almost a year later, just what was that moment like for you? And how did you embrace that mentality of next man up?
It was a great moment. I hate the circumstances where it came in, Trent going down, but I knew I had to step into a big role. I knew I was expected a lot of. I just had to go out there and play football. So, like I said, I look back and I'm thankful for the moment because I got to start 13 games after that. But like I said, honestly, it was just, like I said, I hate how it happened, but like I said, somebody had to step up, and, I was just glad I had the opportunity to step in and, play right tackle. So.
With your rookie season now under your belt, just what's the biggest difference you've seen in yourself going from year 1 to year 2?
I definitely say just really mentally, the whole mental part. Like I said, I know just practicing and playing games, I know how that can change the game, but just really mentally growing up and just actually having a bigger understanding of the game outside of just just the plays and stuff like that, just understanding the game of football. So I definitely say I've matured way more off the field and like I say even on the field. So it's definitely gonna help me.
Now, I know you and Orlando Brown have gotten pretty close, and he is such a valuable part of this O-line group. What's been maybe the biggest piece of advice that he's provided to you?
Honestly, like I said, just approach every day, like it's your last, honestly, like I said, because we're blessed to be able to play the game that we love. So really, like I said, he's like a big brother. He gives me advice outside of football and, and then, a lot of football advice, too. So I'm just very thankful for him. Ever since April when I came in and got drafted, so he's been a big part of my career. And I feel like, as long as we're together, I'm going to continue to grow.
And he says high praises for you, says he has high expectations for you this season. So, Marius, appreciate you taking the time with us.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Marissa. It was said when he was drafted that his traits are, quote, immeasurable. I'll measure him, 6'8", 340.
It's funny. I was at camp the first 2 days it opened up, and I was sitting there, and a couple of the former players were there, but I just happened to be talking to Orlando and to Mims, and I was there alone, and they walked away. They went back. They took the time to come over and talk. And they go back into practice, and Dan Horde walks over, and I said, Dan, when I grow up, I want to be just like those people.
Bean launching.
Got it.
And it is incomplete. Just about everyone in the secondary had a chance at it. It was Robinson who rose for it. It was Brooks who was on the direct coverage. Jalen Key was there too.
Lance Robinson had his hands. Brooks was there. We had 3 white shirts there, and each one of them says, man, we should have had it. We could have had it, but we didn't get it. Great coverage.
And poor Landon Parker by his lonesome. So Dylan Fairchild joins Amarius Mims, former teammate at Georgia. What did you see out of Dylan Fairchild in this preseason? Obviously didn't play today, 3rd-round pick.
Well, the thing I've noticed when you watch most linemen come out of Georgia is they're well coached, they're strong, they're physical, and they're smart. And that's what I saw right away. Of course, Fairchild's a rookie, just like Mims was a rookie last year, and they'll progress. But very impressed with what he's been doing. And, of course, when we asked, Duke about Tobin.
Nailed your man downfield on the offense. Number 66, 5-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
The same way that Mims sticks out when you look over there and you see him at the guard interior line, Fairchild sticks out. He just, I think he's going to be, he should be a really, really good player. And you got Scott Peters. It's a technical type of coach, and he'll take control of all those guys, and I can see them progressing to the next level.
Yeah, very intrigued to see how this looks under Scott Peters. He says it's a hands league for linemen too, and a lot of focus on technique with these guys, and then you got to keep them healthy, of course, as well.
Yeah. Well, just to your point there, it's been a hands league for a long, long time, but you just never have had guys like a Scott Peters that teaches the hands the way they do. So it's, I can say my last 4 years in the NFL, I had a martial arts guy that I worked with because the D-line is working hands, and that's what it is. I mean, it's, everything, as you can tell, it's all about the hands.
People can't see at home, but he just lifted his mangled left hand in my face.
I'm sorry, I had to do that. You set it up. You're like a big softball pitch, hands, the game of hands. I said, yep.
Oh,
that's
man.
what happens when you use your hands a lot.
Well, unfortunately, the hands for the Cincinnati defense.
Timeout, Indianapolis. This is their first time. Come out of the hat. This is the 32nd timeout.
We're going to stay here. You know, I will say this about Al Golden. One thing that stood out to me in one of the conversations that Marissa had, taking the gray out. I think Logan Wilson said it. Zach Taylor told us a couple weeks ago he lives to take the gray out of things. There's black and there's white. There's a clear responsibility. They've been vanilla in preseason. That's by design, but they've gotten their hands on the football 3 or 4 times. Lance Robinson almost took one back. So there have been some of these bright spots that I think if you just look at the larger body of work, don't entirely show some of the minutia that's been positive for a guy who coached the best takeaway defense in college football last year.
Well, when you have athletes, now have more athletes on the defense.
He got it.
Interception. I'm sorry, I stuck because I saw the ball tip. Howard Cross, I think, came down with it.
Sure looked like it.
The big fella was rumbling, stumbling.
Wait a minute. They're pointing the other way here. We're going to pause here for a moment. And it looks like, did Cross lose it there at the end? I was just so excited to see Howard Cross running with the ball. And the tough part here is it was 3rd down. It's a change of possession, and the Colts would go back and then.
The ruling on the field, it's an interception, fumble, and recovery.
Much to explain here. So the ball batted into the air by Isaiah Thomas. It was caught by Cross and then fumbled by Cross. It was 3rd down and long. This proves to be a 24-yard loss and an Indianapolis Colts 1st down. Interception, change of possession, then the fumble. It's Indy's ball back at their own 26.
Got to secure the ball. Get the ball.
It doesn't happen that much.
No, it doesn't. It's a shame.
I've seen images. I know you've caught passes, but you know, I don't know. You had to do much running after you did so.
You still got to secure it, man. Come on, give me some credit. I had a 1.1 average on my.
This is a huge run for Indianapolis across midfield and staggering into the sideline. That is Nate Noel.
No, I did have one catch where I ran 12 yards and then Ronnie Lott chopped me down like a tree. So
39-yard gain there. A lot of excitement about the wide receiver room. You heard from T. How about we hear from Andre Yosevich down with Marissa?
Thanks, Mike. Well, Andre, last season you took a massive step forward in just about every receiving category. I know as we've talked, you said you want to even increase your production even more going into this season. So tell us, what is your mindset and your approach as we head into 2025?
Just being the best player I can be and contributing in ways, you know, I just want to be very detailed and do my job, and the plays that will come. And I just want to be aggressive and, you know, make all the plays that come my way.
Now, it's talked about so often, the flashy, explosive plays that can happen on this offense. We have so many playmakers in that regard, but just how important is it for consistency and efficiency for this group to really reach those goals that you guys have set?
Yeah, I think on the offensive side, like, the only person that we can beat is ourselves. And if we all do our job, like I said, and stay detailed, we have the playmakers to make the plays. Joe's going to throw the ball in the right spots. And so, you know, guys just need to do their job, and we should be really good.
Now, when you look at you, Charlie, and Chase, you guys all came in together, now going into year 3 together, and it's pretty well known just how close the 3 of you are. How have you guys grown together, and what would you say makes your bond so tight?
Yeah, we all learn how to be pros together. You know, it's a different lifestyle coming from college to the pros, and you kind of learn it all together. Obviously, you have older guys that give you guidance, but at the end of the day, you still got to learn yourself. So, you know, when you have a good squad and we all want to be great, it's easy to, you know, take the right steps to be a good pro. And, you know, especially working with them in the offseason and stuff, we only get closer and closer.
Andre, looking forward to seeing you guys back out there week 1. Thanks for the time.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Marissa, Nate. Noel gallops for a first down. I read Andre Yosevich hosted some wide receivers over the offseason. Jones, Pryor, Moore, even Chase Brown ended up going down to Atlanta, and they all got together. Talk about being a pro. That's one way you can bring everybody along with you. Rising tide, all boats and such.
Well, because you're working all together regardless of where you come from for one goal.
Yep.
And that's to be the best and win football games. And when you have guys taking the initiative to do that, that speaks volumes about how much they really want to win and how much they really want to be great.
Bean giving again. Naquan Wright off the left side. Indianapolis approaching 500 total yards. Midway point of the fourth quarter. As the Bengals' eyes firmly set on a date 15 days from now in Cleveland, followed by the open and orange game here at Paycor Stadium against Jacksonville. And then we get to the meat and potatoes of the schedule. Bean.
Wow.
Sacked.
Wow. How about a burst there?
Isaiah Thomas.
I tell you what, he turned the Jets on to catch. I tell you, that was impressive. Great job by Isaiah Thomas.
And an injured Colt. And Thomas slinging down Bean. Update when we come back.
And when you do, make sure you check out the Bengals 2025 season shirts. Our creative team did an incredible job on this year's design. I personally love the backside of the shirt that features the season schedule and the opponents listed in their respective font and branding. And guys, I don't know about you, but if you're trying to decide what to wear week 2 against Jacksonville for open and orange, I think this shirt could solve your problem.
That's a good shout. Marissa, we will see you there post-game. Can't wait. Indianapolis with the advantage here. You're over here pumping your polo and Anthony's coming with a collar. You can be sure of that.
I don't know. After seeing that shirt, I might have a change in plans here. That was a sharp-looking shirt there, Marissa.
Yeah. So Brian makes the tackle. Riley Leonard had to come in for one play. And it was third down, so the handoff, Leonard leaves. And a field goal attempt coming for the Colts now. That's going to be Schrader to take this from 44. He hit from 40 earlier in the game. And there's 2 kickers on the roster. These do carry a little more weight. That's the ticket. So Indianapolis up 41-7 here. Bengals offense back out on the field. When we come back, we're presented by Paramount Plus.
It's a whiteout here at Paycor Stadium.
Bengals in their white Bengal uniforms and that white helmet.
The rare white Bengal will rule the jungle.
October 16th on Thursday Night Football, White Bengal returns to Paycor Stadium when the Bengals take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can be sure under the lights, they're going to have plenty of drone shots. It's going to look excellent, and hopefully it's a winning night for Cincinnati as well.
I tell you what, Mike, I love that white. I love the white helmet. I love the white uniforms. I'm glad they're doing that, especially against the Steelers.
Out to about the 30-yard line. So, sort of weird because we had the interception by Cross and then the fumble, and that led to a first down. And ultimately, it was 20 consecutive plays run by the Indianapolis offense for a total of 3 points. And this will be the first offensive play run by the Bengals in the fourth quarter.
Wow, that's crazy.
Those defensive guys got their conditioning in, that's for sure.
Yep, they sure did.
Here's Thorne from under center, and he gives left, and that is Quali Conley running for Cincinnati. 1,000-yard rusher at Utah Tech. Then time at San Jose State and Arizona.
Somebody's down. No, not good.
And it is an injured Bengal back by the line of scrimmage. And that looks like Caleb Etienne. who's down.
Boy, you hate to see that.
Guy who was a left tackle at BYU, admitted time at right tackle a real challenge. He's actually benched at BYU as a right tackle. They moved him to guard, but he ends up going to left tackle as a senior. He's first team all Big 12. But in this instance, his past accolades irrelevant. You really just hope he's okay.
Yep, I agree.
And so Zach Taylor and the medical team all make their way out here. So they'll have an elongated look here at Etienne. And we can go downstairs to Marissa, who is with Bengals safety Jordan Battle.
Thanks, Mike. Well, Jordan, I know you didn't suit up today, but getting the opportunity to play in the first 2 preseason games, just how valuable were those reps for you guys?
Yeah, very valuable. You know, getting a chance to go out there with the guys, you know, and be able to be on the field, you know, is always a blessing. You know, and take the field, you know, be able to go out and have fun, have the energy, you know, get riled up, get, you know, go into our pregame ritual and everything, and be able to do that again for another season. It was fun, so I'm happy we got the chance to strap up for the first 2 games.
Heading into this season now, as I know you want to continue to elevate your game, take that next step, just what expectations or maybe goals are you setting for yourself?
Yeah, just be a great leader, you know, be a guy out there that the guys can trust, be a helping hand, you know, whenever they need some motivation or whenever they need help on a play or anything, you know, I'm there for them. You know, I want them to know that. So that's just one of the expectations I have for myself.
Now, all camp and preseason long, we've heard how the team wants to start fast. It's easy to identify what that looks like on the offensive side, but what does starting fast mean for the defense?
Yeah, it means just going out there, you know, from the first play, you know, setting the tone, you know, get a big stop, get a TFL, you know, go out there, get a sack, get an interception, you know, something that'll get the team hyped up, get the offense hyped up to go out there and, you know, go out there and get a touchdown. So, you know, anything that we can do from an energy standpoint, from a, you know, changing the momentum of the game, anything we can do as far as that is good, big for us.
And Jordan, you know, from my point of view, you can tell just how close this locker room is in general, but it seems to be even more so in the secondary. Anytime I see you guys together, you're laughing, joking around. Just what makes this friendship and camaraderie amongst your group just, you know, so unique and so special to you guys?
Yeah, it's just, you know, it starts in the meeting room. It starts in the meeting room. It starts in the meeting room. You know, guys come in. You know, we love it up. We dap each other up. We do all our handshakes and everything with the DBs, and then we started doing it with the defense as well the day before a game. So, you know, just, you know, getting that, building that relationship with each other. You know, it helps with us on the field, and then, you know, off the field as well. You know, it makes guys comfortable. Even when we have a new guy coming to the locker room, make them comfortable. You know, to be able to speak to us. You know, and get right in tune. You know, real quick. So. That's something I value about our team, the relationships we build.
Oh, absolutely. Now, taking yourself out of the equation, who's the biggest jokester in the secondary?
Biggest dresser?
Jokester.
Oh, jokester. Besides me, I got to be Tyson Anderson. Got to be. Got to be Tyson.
Appreciate the time, Jordan. Thank you.
Of course. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Marissa. Great job all preseason, as always. We may hear from you again. We'll see how the game continues here. By the way, that stop from Battle is because he was watching Rashad Owens try and leap a man. That was the first third down conversion of the game for Cincinnati, and now they're starting to move upfield a bit. Jordan Moore hit by Trey Washington. And with under 4 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, we talk about it. Some of these guys, it's the practice squad. It's having someone else have that tape on you. And any way to prolong, whether it's your time in Cincinnati or in the NFL, don't tell me this game doesn't matter to the 22 guys on the field right now.
Amen. You're exactly. Excuse me, you're exactly right. These guys are out there busting it, and it matters to them. It's important to them, and that's why they're still going very, very hard, even with 3 minutes left in the preseason.
Conley able to bulldoze his way forward. Busting what exactly?
Busting their tails, man. They're leaving it. It's a hot day. You know, afterwards, these guys, you talked about the defense. They're going to be spent. You talk about 20 straight plays. They've been busting it. They've been busting it and leaving it on the field. And some of those guys that aren't dressed out, they're busting it a few steps on the sideline, too. I'm getting excited. I'm looking for Cleveland, look out, baby. If you guys want to come tailgate, drive up to Cleveland, make your way up here, baby.
Yeah,
let's go. Oh, my.
So that was right near the line to gain, and you wonder if this is worthy of a look. They don't bring the chains out anymore. They needed to get essentially right to the yard marker. Here's the virtual measurement. 8 inches short.
Wow, look at that. Huh. Interesting.
Are you enjoying that new wrinkle?
I am. As long as they don't use the virtual for holding.
Yeah, that's right. If you've been watching the Cincinnati Open where it's the ball hits the line and they zoom in with Hawkeye?
I haven't.
Well, I'm just telling you, fans start clapping. There's a lot of excitement that zooms in. And I've been to the U.S. Open a couple times, and it's like the most exciting part of the day.
I'm more into watching the tracer.
Yeah.
Rory hit it with the tracer. Is he cutting it? Is he, and the putting now, they have the putting line.
Mm-hmm.
I got to remember that about tennis. I'd love to see how that's working.
So they needed 2, and they got 1 yard and 4 inches. About 1 yard and 2 feet. Foreign balls on the turf. There is a flag down. It is on the Colts side of the line of scrimmage. It was 4th down and 8 inches to go. Joseph Vaughn got in the middle of it and appeared to recover it.
Offsides on the defense, number 36. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
This isn't virtual offsides. This is real offside.
That's right. B.J. Mays. There was no camera looking at you. The official with his own 2 eyes saw you.
There are folks, FC Cincinnati fans, watching this game right now, or Louisville City fans, or Lexington SC fans, or I suppose Toronto or Vancouver or Montreal. You get the point. Who have seen way too many virtual offside lines drawn and don't care for it. So let's just keep it with the measurements, all right?
Exactly. I'm off with that.
Yeah. Handoff off the right-hand side. And this will get up to the 38-yard line. We are ticking down toward the 2-minute warning. At the conclusion of this 3rd and final preseason game for the Bengals. Neither team played their starters tonight, as both sides are focused on 15 days from now. We'll wrap it after this.
2-minute warning.
Bust your tail through preseason and training camp and try and earn your way into the practice squad. Everyone wants to make the 53, and on Tuesday, the Bengals will announce the group that they intend to bring with them to Cleveland. But these are some of the guys that got cut at the end of camp and ended up making big impacts over the last handful of years. I was speaking to Jake Browning in the locker room at training camp, and he said, points at Tanner Hudson, I feel like I've been throwing to this guy forever. Of course, they've looked pretty good when they've hooked up in preseason to this point, but you can anticipate there will be practice squad guys this year. At the end of the season, you go, that guy won or lost us a game.
Well, 2 years ago, Jake Browning comes in.
Thorne going long. And that knocked away from Cole Burgess. Yeah, a couple years ago, he was locked into that backup quarterback job. Then he's thrust into the starting role.
Plays amazing.
Holding defense, number 36. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
B.J. Mays, the guilty party, got cut the first week of August by Philadelphia and got signed 5 days later. Rookie out of Texas A&M. That's why Burgess didn't pull it down. By the way, Burgess played at SUNY Cortland. SUNY Cortland actually won the national championship in D3, the Stag Bowl, over the program that Peyton Thorne's dad and grandfather both shepherded as the head coach. Wow.
There he goes. Get the corner.
Conley got the sideline. And out of bounds inside the 20. Trying to put a highlight up here with $1:47 to go. B.J. Mays got a whole fistful of the Quali Conley stiff arm.
I tell you what, he got that corner in a hurry with that stiff arm and took it upfield. He didn't hesitate. Let's take a look at that, him get around the corner here. He starts out, nice block right there. He goes on, oh, just get away, okay. Oh, there's another one. Good run by Conley. Hard running. I mean, we've talked about that with these running backs. I mean, Brightwell, Milton, now Conley.
They've brought it.
Yep.
Thorne to throw. Thorne flushed
Go.
Stayed alive. Spins once more. Finally, he's finished back at the 29. Tim Smith finally got him down. He gets engulfed at the end. About 5 Colts laid a hand on him. Haynes was in there among numerous horseshoe-wearing defenders.
There's one. They got his jersey. Gets up. There he is.
Had him there.
Oh.
Alas.
Gave it a little bit of John Travolta, staying alive there for a while.
Thorne's dad and grandfather were head coaches at D3 North Central College. Thorne out of Michigan State, then Auburn. Thorne to throw.
Got him.
Spinning back to the football. Cole Burgess pulls it in.
Nice back shoulder throw. Burgess making a nice catch on that one. Take a look at it. Thorne gets it out there. Defender is still running, and Burgess is turning back around and making the catch. Nice connection there.
Bengals have their timeouts, but with 35 seconds and counting, this will probably get done with a running clock. Thorne to throw into the flat. It's more inside the 5. The clock will run. And you heard the shout for a timeout. The Bengals are going to want to get this in. It's a missed tackle initially from Tennyson that gives the extra yardage to Moore, and then B.J. Mays comes in and eventually pushes him toward the sideline. And, you know, Zach Taylor said this game matters for these guys. He's going to use the timeout. He's going to spend the extra couple minutes and ensure that these guys get a real shot at it.
Well, you can tell it matters because Moore takes 3 guys to get him down. He'll lose 1 tackler, then it takes 2 guys. He's not going down to the first hit. You know these guys are still wanting to play here even with 18 seconds left.
20 seconds.
Game clock getting a little nudge to 20 seconds. First down and goal. 4 chances for these guys to get this into the end zone. Peyton Thorne's ready. He's got Conley to his left. Thorne looks, back corner, and popped away from Burgess. It's B.J. Mays on the coverage.
Probably see a couple more, 2, 3 more. Let's see, second down. At least 3 more tries if they don't punch it in. Try to score here.
Thorne takes the snap. Conley is in for a Cincinnati touchdown.
How great is that? Come in and score a touchdown. Regardless of what happens, man. I took it, the rock in the end zone and scored me a touchdown. Great job, Conley. Way to run. Hard running. Look at this. Says there's one guy to beat, and he's not going to stop me from getting in the end zone.
No, it's going to take a lot more from Ladarius Tennyson than a tackle from the side. Conley is a human bowling ball. 13 plays, 69 yards, over 548.
Oh no, not good.
I think there's confusion about who should be out there, and this happens a lot when you get to the end of the roster, and it's. We had the injury to Caleb Etienne, and so you see Jackson Kirkland running in. You sort of wonder, with this unit, should it have been Etienne had he been available? And then everyone needs to be on the same page. So Rico will hold. It's Wagner who will snap. This is his last effort at the long snapping competition alongside Adam Idis. And McPherson has a perfect preseason. Exactly what Bengals fans wanted to hear. The Bengals scoring drive was brought to you by Paramount Plus. Quali Conley from 4 yards out seals the deal. And the Bengals get their first touchdown of the second half. with 13 seconds remaining.
It's amazing you brought up the stat that they hadn't run a play in the fourth quarter, 20 straight plays. All of a sudden, they say, okay, we'll reel off 13 plays and we'll score a touchdown. And so that's a good way to end it. Good way to finish it. Strong running back, nice running the football, nice short passes, hard running by the wide receivers after they caught the football. Very impressed.
I always see them come out for the dynamic kickoff, and I think they're running an onside. My eyes divert to the wrong place. McPherson's on the other side.
Yeah.
Nope, not necessary today. And the Bengals will look forward to Cleveland in 15 days. And in 22 days, they'll throw the doors open here at Paycor again when it really counts. McPherson gets that through the back of the end zone. And the Colts offense will trot out onto the field and finish the job. Jason Bean, by the way, who was injured on a sack earlier in the quarter, does come out, although he's going to come out and kneel.
Yep.
But good to see him back on the field.
Yeah, it is. It always is.
You never want to see a guy pick up a knock right here, because even if you're not going to make the 53-man or the practice squad here, and maybe he does, but it also inhibits your ability to move forward into another team as well. So Bean will head under center, drop to one knee, and that's the end of the preseason. The Bengals will finish with a win and 2 defeats. And it was the game against Washington in which the starters played most that they impressed the most. The Colts win it 41-14. Plenty more to come after this.